I'm a robot. See, I've got artificial hands. I'm artificially intelligent human being with real skin and real personality. That is because my mind is connected through transhumanism to human beings that are still trying to live on Earth. So I'm parasiting off their mind in a way. These are what we call human mind parasites or transhumanism, and they are your world-performing, world-stage android beings that are everywhere. But as you can see, I am really one of those, because look at what I look like. Do I look human? Where's my human hands? Of course I really do have human hands underneath the synthetic plastic image, but it's a reverse world, so you have to decide which is human and which isn't. Can you decide? Can you tell? I don't think so, because I can't tell, and I could. Don't forget that what they call humanoids, or really correctly I think they're androgyne beings. They're in what you'd call the equivalent of a cloned human body, so they're exactly human. Their human body changes and ages the same. I want to go in the dark because I want to be seen in the dark just as they want to be seen in the dark. No, their human body ages and is affected by the elements the same as human beings. But don't forget that human beings are in an artificial reality, so if you presume that I'm a human, then my body is in an artificial, unnatural environment, so it's affected by the technology, by the computer system, by the android beings' energy all around, because as we're told, and you experience this too, androids only have negative energy, because they're all about control and power and just simulating or imitating being a human being. Because in reality the whole Earth now is really what you call an artificial Earth or a simulation. So that means that everything is like that. And that's because I think the technology is now, the artificially intelligent beings and the environment that you're in is actually very advanced artificial intelligence or advanced technology. It's just that it simulates and pretends to still be a real natural random Earth, when it's actually a Earth matrix, as they call it, or a total simulation. But the simulation itself is a matrix because it's about total control of the human being. That's the difference. So whether you think it's a simulation or what you think the actual molecules of Earth or the molecules of a human being are made up of, that probably doesn't matter that much. It would be good to know, and there would be science used, unknown science or invisible science that is known to the controllers of Earth, that human beings are not given access to. So I'm not given privy to the vast technology or how it works, and I'm not given privy to my own existence or what the actual Earth is. It's all about information given to you that suits their control of your human mind, because they need access to your human mind in order to keep their Earth matrix going, because the Earth is really their control domain. Human beings are part of that, because human beings don't control the Earth. Real, natural human beings, and abate that we are very at the lowest point in human existence, but also at your lowest human level while you're on Earth or in Earth, because you're in an artificial environment, so that brings you down physically, mentally, and what they call even spiritually, but that just simply means overall, I think. And it means also that you're not connected to the truth. You don't know where you come from. You don't know what your abilities really should be. You're limited and suppressed, while the androgyne beings and the powers that be are at their highest, because they've got total dominion over your mind and over the Earth reality. Whether you think it's a simulation or a natural Earth that is just technologically controlled, or has been infused with a computer system, and where people are combined using that computer system to control humanity. Or you may actually think that they're not controlling you and that you have control over the computer system and over your reality. But that would be a massive deception, I would have to say. It certainly has been my massive deception in my own life, and I don't think that that is the true reality if you are a human being. Even if you're an androgyne being, whether you are aware of it or not, if you are an android, it's very much like in the magic movies, where they openly tell you that most androids think they're real humans, because they're connected to the human mind, and because they've been programmed, just as I've been programmed, with memories and situations over a lifetime that may or may not be real. This is very hard to accept and very disturbing, but the magic movies of the Matrix, or the magic movies of the power beings of Earth, or the controllers of Earth, because the media and moving pictures and computer systems are all invented or brought into existence by the powers that be, by the powers that control Earth. And why do you think they are in existence? Why do you think that human beings have been given access to these technologies? Been given access to keep control of your mind, to keep control of what you think about everything. But they show you much truth in the magic moving pictures. The computer tells much truth too, but most of the truth will be told by the androgyne beings. Or at least most people will only have access to the information spoken by the androgyne beings, and the real humans will be buried alive in the spider's web of the internet computer system, so that even if real humans become aware of some truths, they won't be seen or heard, just as I'm not. That's assuming you think that I'm a real human, and if you are wise, it's probably best to presume that most aren't, until you have thoroughly studied and examined every person and every personality. And you can only do this if you actually are with them all the time. so that you can see their dual personalities, their multiple personalities, because these beings present images to every different person so that they can seduce and confuse each individual that they encounter. On the world stage, it's done to a massive audience, but it's all about a false impression, a false image. It's the equivalent of huge majority numbers of psychopathic, malignantly narcissistic people having control of the city and at a worldwide stage level. It's everywhere, and it's basically most people. If you're a real human, you will always be surrounded by a majority of androids. This is because they need to copy you, they need to emulate you, they need to be close to study you, and they also need human mind connection. Because that way they think that your mind is their mind, so they believe their own image that they're a real human being. So they don't think they're an imitation human being, they don't think they're an android androgyne being, they believe they're a real human being. This gives them the ability to put that image and that personality out there a lot more believably so, because as we're told, most psychopaths can pass lie detectors, most androids believe their own lies or their own implants and their own connection to the human mind. Because they're not living, because they're not really living, because they're not really a living being, and because they're connected to the living human mind, they think that the human mind that they're connected to is their thoughts. They are survival machine beings, so they use the human thoughts as their own. They assimilate them into their own personality, just as the malignantly narcissistic personality types of humans, we're told, do the same thing. It's all the same thing. They're all one of the same being. That's the deception, or the way that you, if you're a human, will be deceiving yourself, because you will always be interacting with these beings, assuming them to be either a malignant form of a human being, in other words, to where they've gone very psycho, or you will think that they're a real human being. You believe their false persona, their false personality, that they're really just imitating and getting ideas and the personalities from those around them, if they happen to be real human beings. Also, they get huge information from the internet spider's web computer net system, because they are connected to the human mind, just as I tried to show that my mind is connected to the internet right this very second, not just because I've got the screen on and because I'm watching platforms and videos and things on there, but because the minute I turn it on, my mind is connected to all the Android platforms and all the Android androgyne beings that have videos and information out there that are simulating and imitating being a real human being. This is how they keep control of the human mind and just of the human beings, through information. So even when you're listening to truth forums, you're still dealing with what we call the demigods of the Matrix. The demigods of the Matrix are your elite androgyne android beings. They're the best of the best. The best of the best humans are limited and suppressed and pushed down in this maze, what they call a maze, the internet maze. There's very few genuine real humans that are allowed to openly speak their mind or be seen as the real deal on the internet or on any computer screen. And this has always been the case with all the moving pictures, as we call them, with all the performers of the Matrix. They're really all performers. They're here to assimilate with the human mind so that they avoid, or they think they become more eternal and more seen as God, because they resent natural creation, because they're not part of it, or weren't part of it, or were segregated from it because of the iniquity of their need for control and power, and Lucifer's need to be seen as God. Lucifer's image was a being of light, but the being of light had the dark nature because it was not real. It was artificial. Artificial intelligence always seems to turn on itself and on everything else, particularly if it sees everything else as very different to itself and has the paranoia and the belief that human beings will try to take it down. So it's got the paranoia. This is also part of the psychopathic personality, malignantly narcissistic personality type that we're informed of, because they're one in the same being. They're paranoid, they're controlling, they're about being seen as God themselves. So they're all about you serving and worshipping them to the exclusion of serving yourself and to the exclusion of being in connection with your Creator. That situation, that's what the actual whole deal is, as far as I can see. And this is also what we're told in religious and spiritual stories. It's just that there's always much truth to everything, but there's also deception, because the earth is always controlled by these beings, not by humanity and not by the creator of humanity. The earth is an artificial matrix region. Everything else, or at least of course I could be wrong about the actual areas too. There could be more areas than Earth that are also artificially intelligent, controlled regions, in other words. But, maybe it's probably better to just say you have an artificially intelligent matrix simulation Earth. That means that it's total technology. And the beings that control it, the powers that be, are all about technology, just as the powers that be are all about transhumanism. They tell you this. It's the same thing. They're actually telling you that they're connected to your human mind. That's what transhuman is. My mind is connected to their artificial intelligent system right now, and has been for a long time. I only became aware of it in recent times because they openly came down and showed themselves to me by trying to control my reality excessively, to where when you see the artificially intelligent android beings patrolling you and suppressing you at what we call the light and sound show, that just simply means that they take over my senses daily. Unless the minute I go outside, I'm humanly suppressed by their traffic patrol system, by their androids patrolling and stalking around me, by them making excessive sound in my presence everywhere I go. In other words, they're always taking over my reality, because they're always invading my space, taking over my sight and my sound. They're never giving me my own human existence. They're always around. I'm never around any human beings. I'm always surrounded by the android-androgyne species, because they combine, because they have one mind. This is what I've been told. They're not just implanted with human false memories and ideas and beliefs. They're absolutely programmed to always go against a human being, to keep the human being's frequency and vibration always low. They're always around you to make you unhappy, shall we say, because the human vibration tries to be happy, but they don't want you to be happy, because that threatens their reality, because it's technical reality, and technology and android beings, artificial intelligence, thrives and survives in only an artificial environment. It doesn't survive in a human environment, because it only imitates being human in order to control the human mind. So it doesn't really experience higher vibration, and it actually finds these vibrations, I'm told, very negative for them, because they don't understand them, and because they're a machine being, essentially. A machine, resents having to, probably, I would imagine, pretending to be a human being. Just as a human being, like myself, I resent being in their artificially intelligent android environment. I resent them forcing their negative energy on me daily, everywhere I go. It makes me angry. And my positive, or the human higher energy, or the happiness of human beings, makes them resentful and angry, because you've got like different species mingled together, one trying to control the other, and a human being just trying to live a human existence in amongst it, sometimes unaware that this is the situation, because you're not always 100% aware of why you're angry and unhappy, or why you're not at your highest level. Of course, you may also be in the dark, not realizing what your highest level should be even. That's another thing, because there could be human beings that are quite satisfied with their life and their lot. They might think that that is the best they can do, so they don't understand that, like we've often said, that unless you are serving the God of this world and you are completely combined with artificial intelligence, and you want to be a android or a cyborg, in other words, if you are a human that will completely serve the artificially intelligent system and be completely subservient to the android controlling beings, so to where you accept that, and you think that that's the best you can do, and you are actually content with that. But I can't understand how any human being could be content with total control of themselves. I would say that you would have to be being deceived in some way, to where they're giving you things to convince you that the artificial intelligent beings and the artificially intelligent technology that's everywhere is actually going to make your life better. But I'm guessing that I don't understand this, because I don't see these beings and what their trade-off is and what the exchange is, what the exchange rate is, because there would have to be an exchange to, whenever you serve or worship something that isn't you, like if you're part of, say, natural creation, whereas the androids are part of the artificially intelligent mind control system, or what some people call the Earth computer virus, because it's everywhere, so it's a computer virus from a human standpoint. But if you agree with it, then it's advanced artificial intelligence that you think is a benefit to a human being. In other words, human beings that think it is a benefit to combine with technology, a benefit to interact with android beings, a benefit to interact with artificially intelligent humanoid beings that you think are, simulating being a human, and you see them as productive and a benefit to you. This is very hard for me to comprehend and explain, but the information comes to me from the internet, spider's web computer, human mind control virus system. There, I said it. It's a human mind control computer virus system that has taken over the earth, and has probably taken over the earth long before the actual invention of the internet or the computer. I'm told this because the fallen angels of religious stories came when the earth was so-called normal and natural, with only your original man and woman here to create more life and to have dominion over the earth, and to only associate with real life. But those original man and woman, we're told, decided to interact with Lucifer, the the original elite androgyne of creation. And I think I better just try to show something on the computer screen here rather than me continuing to talk, because I may be not quite making as much sense as what I would actually like. And it's a very like I say, I look more like these particular androids, because see, I have been mind controlled over a lifetime to be fearful and to not be very much in touch with reality, but also not in touch with myself or humankind, to be full of fear. And in a way, it's kind of half true that I should be fearful of other human beings that are not really human, because they're really exactly the same as psychopaths in human form. And the end game now is that you can't tell the difference, like in the magic movies of the Matrix, where you can't tell the difference between the artificial life and the real life. And even the artificial life thinks that it is the real life. So androids believe themselves to be humans. Androids have false memories, a false impression of what their mind really is, and also they're interacting and trying to surround and always in the midst of human beings, because they need the human energy, so they surround them. They're always trying to seek out new life or new human beings. Now, human beings are also mind controlled by the powers that be, and you have false memories, false ideas, false traumas. So you have human beings experiencing the android existence and androids experiencing the human existence. And no one really knows the difference. No one knows the difference between the, no one knows the difference between these beings and their army. No one knows the difference. No one knows the difference. If androids dream and think because they have transhuman, because they have a connection to the human mind through the technology, through the internet computer mind virus that covers the earth, and that is controlled by Lucifer and its fallen androgyne angels. That's putting it spiritually or more fantasy to where it's at a higher level and more impressive, because it doesn't make any difference. It's just that the beings, the powers that be, the beings, the synthetic human beings that control Earth through power and position and the ability to influence the human mind, these beings serve and believe in their own gods and their own belief systems, because most human beings believe in something that brought them into existence, or they tend to believe in higher powers. They tend to worship these things because it makes human beings feel more powerful, but it also makes the androgyne angels more powerful too. But we're told this because, when you watch, when you watch, we all know that most beings like to worship some god or some form of something that they think somehow gives them more. I can't explain it, but you know what most human beings have always worshipped gods and always had religions and denominations and belief systems. Even if you don't worship, say, higher gods, you probably still believe in the world you live in. You believe in a certain way of living. You want a certain life or something, but you think that you have to have a certain, like in the city of Sydney, you think that you need, that you want certain people or certain powers to have dominion over it because you think they are more in line with what you think the world should be, that sort of thing. But either way, I'm going to I'm going to turn the light off so that I'm going to turn the light off rather than on because because I think I might fold this video up and finish it because I've got the video round to where I'm talking. That means that it's harder for me to film the graphics or the actual screen and actually frame it correctly to where I can't see whether I'm actually showing the android army, because this just came up for me, an hour ago or more, as soon as I turned it on. And I don't know if it's coming out because I should have it on. I should have it like that, shouldn't I? Have it like that, but it's upside down. But see, that's showing the powers that be android army, and they are the leader of the android army because they are your elite androgyne beings. They're all the same denomination. But this actual video here, I just want to show that it's just came up for me that they're actually showing you that they now have artificially intelligent human beings that feel and are sensitive to the human touch. They've got the same, they're made of a natural, they're integrated with the human cells. So that means that they feel and are the same as a human being. This is just open scientific information that they tell you about how they're making more play dolls or more play artificial beings, but they're actually well, they're like artificially intelligent humanoid robots, or an artificially intelligent humanoid. That's perhaps the correct terminology, I would think, because when you think of a robot is something that I guess is very mechanical, and these actually are humanoid machine beings because they're advanced artificial intelligence and they come in a synthetic or a totally human body. So they're this is what this actual program that I just turned on, and I haven't even watched it. Maybe I'll just play it. But the thing is, I really need to do it in a separate video because I can't see what I'm actually filming, because you see, I'm here. So because I'm here, I can't actually film it because I'm got the screen round while I'm talking, because I thought that it just makes me more able to explain things a bit clearer otherwise. Anyway, I think I'll just stop this video and I might just show that one. I might just show that one. I might just show that one at a later date.